Question Response Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very spooky episode. Is that good? Probably not. Anyways, it's Halloween.
Oh, you didn't keep going. There's like an episode of Pixel Response.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's Halloween, guys. Kind of. I'm working Halloween, so.
Well, it's a Thursday, right? Isn't it? So it doesn't work for anybody to do stuff. So this past weekend was kind of Halloween for adults, anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. Downtown was full of freaks, man. It was weird.
Were you down there?
Yeah.
You were in the downtown?
Yeah, we went to a party.
Mm-hmm.
At a pub, you know, like just one of those.
Yeah, you went to drink.
Yeah, I mean, I went to eat a beef dip sandwich, but same idea.
But I mean, straight up, you are probably the biggest lush I know.
Like, doesn't take much to tip over?
No, just the fact that you're drinking every day.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's a long-standing problem, but, you know, fair enough. Thanks for bringing it up, I guess. You know?
That being said, I have a bottle of vodka looking right at me.
Okay.
And it's speaking to me right now. It's saying some
terrible
terrible things about stuff I should do to it.
Oh, okay.
And they all involve my mouth.
Yeah, that sounds about right for a bottle. That makes sense, right?
Yeah, so. I mean, I don't technically have, like, another orifice that would be good for a bottle. Well, there's one, but it wouldn't be good for anybody if that happened.
And you get drunk way faster, so...
That's what I hear. I would never try it, though, because why? Like, no, I'm okay with it.
Apparently kind of dangerous, so don't do that. It's not good for you.
Yeah, can't you, like, just straight up die?
Maybe. So, if it's like, you know, hey, I fell into this vat of liquor, it's like, no, don't do that, because your body's, like, absorbing it, so don't do that. Yeah. Sounds fun on paper, though. It's just like a swimming pool full of whiskey or something, but no. It's not.
Yeah. I don't think it works that way.
Don't do it, kids.
Don't drink?
Don't go swimming in whiskey pools. I mean,
I guess technically if you're saying don't do it, kids, you shouldn't drink at all.
Right. Unless you're in France. Then it's cool.
Right, because the French don't care about anything.
Well, they just like wine a lot. Isn't that what it is?
I guess so.
Anyway, alcohol, Halloween, weird costumes.
Yeah. But like I said, I'm working on Halloween. So I don't get to enjoy anything about Halloween. I get to work. How's work going for you?
Work's going okay. It's just I'm not used to full-time at all anymore, so it's weird. Like, it's just like, oh man, my whole week just kind of is gone.
Yeah.
And I get home and I'm tired, and then I sleep, and then I wake up, and then I work, and then I go home, and then I sleep. It's like that Hot Diggity Demon video. Pretty much. That's
a really good video, too.
Yeah, it kind of just sums up things in a really depressing way and makes you question, like, what are most humans doing? Like, you know, because everyone just wants to retire, right? Or they're working for the weekend.
Yeah.
But if everybody wants that, why don't we all just quit? You know? Kind of let it slide.
Society crumbles.
Well, like, you know, you go to the grocery store and you're just like, hey, man, I know you don't want to be here either. So how about I just take this bag of hot dog buns and you leave and I leave. And then,
because that bag of hot dog buns isn't there anymore when you go to get it.
Right. Because at some point, someone tells the farmers and they stop, you know, doing their thing.
Yeah.
And then it's not good. So really, we just need to pay them. Right? But I guess you also need to pay
and then you have to pay everyone else in the world to not take the last hot dog buns.
You're right. There's just a big chain.
Yeah.
It's not me and the hot dog buns. It's like, who bagged those buns in the first place, right? Who cut them?
Yeah, because that dude that bagged it, you know he's stealing some fucking buns. Those buns are going in his fucking mouth.
He doesn't pay for hot dog buns. Come on. Who are we
No,
kidding?
of course not. He bags them.
Yeah.
When you bag something, you own it.
Variance. But yeah, working. It's crazy right now because the Christmas season, that is a thing that happens with stores. They start.
You're doing like retail sort of thing, right?
Well, kind of, except I'm doing like the receiving end of things. So
you're a receiver? You're like warehouse?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, like, man, warehouse Nathan. We could be like buddies now.
Oh, okay. Is that kind of what...
We could share beers.
With airplanes?
Hmm?
Like, is that kind of what you're doing, but you get them from the airplanes?
Well, no, I'm in an office, but...
Oh, okay.
It's still...
Like, I was just like, wait, a lot of our junk comes from the airport, so maybe you're involved in some weird way. Like, oh yeah, sent, like, it's like, oh yeah, these 9 pallets arrived for Indigo, go on this truck, and then they show up at my store, and I'm like, what the hell? How am I supposed to? There's no room. And then...
Yeah, like, those 9 pallets?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I stacked them.
Oh, dude. The worst, because it's like so weird though, because it's just like, oh well, it's 6 o'clock, I'm gonna go home, and you just kind of hope it works out because it's crazy right now. But I don't know. Right. There's no non-disclosure stuff. It's just work, right? So it's fine. But
yeah,
like everybody's nice. That's helping a lot. But it's just kind of weird seeing how much stuff we're getting in every day. Like it's just like, where do we put it all? We don't have enough room. There's like, I don't care, man, because there's a warehouse somewhere that is also too full, so they're trying to kind of spread it out. So everyone's kind of, again, there's this weird chain of events that I'm not privy to.
And it's weird because, like, when you say a pallet, you're talking about a 4-foot by 4-foot wooden device used to hold things, right?
Yeah, so just boxes stacked on.
When we say a pallet, it's either a 10 by 6 foot metal sheet that go on an airplane up to a 20-foot sheet.
Oh, okay. So way bigger.
So the pallets you're talking about, we just call skids.
Right. I guess we also call them skids.
Yeah, they're skids. So
okay, fine.
They're both pallets though, because you put stuff on them. So
those things in Last of Us that Ellie stands on and she can't swim and all that, like come from our store, as it turns out. So
sure,
yeah. There's hundreds of them. And, like, the dudes in a truck come and take them away.
Sure.
But not often enough. Same with the cardboard guy. Like, there was, like, a weird thing where it's just like, we need the cardboard man to come and take away this cardboard so we can pile up more cardboard. At some point, you just feel real bad because it's just like, man, that's a lot of cardboard. Like, all these trees and shit. But we're recycling it. So we're doing the right thing, I think. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Tetanus risks and stuff, too. Like
tetanus.
Those skids, man, they got nails on them. But anyway...
Yeah.
So yeah, work, and it's, going to happen again tonight, overnight again. So I don't know what to expect, but it's the last one.
Nervous?
I don't know, like, what's the worst that can happen?
Oh, man, you never say that.
What? It'll be fine.
You're never supposed to say what's the worst that could happen. That's like the bad omen.
Yeah, just before the heist, you're like, whatever, it'll be fine. This guy's trustworthy, and then all that stuff happens.
Like, I'm going to walk down this back alley with no lights, the handful of money sticking out of my thong that I'm wearing and nothing else. What's the worst that could happen?
I don't know. You get to the 7-Eleven and they don't have that, meatball kebab you want.
Yeah, that's probably true, actually.
Yeah.
I don't like those. They're gross.
I've had 2 of them. I was really impressed the first time, and then the second time I realized, oh wait, I just like Bullseye barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever need to buy it again. I think it was just like I hadn't had Bullseye barbecue sauce in a while, so it's just like, oh, they soak this in that, and that is what I'm tasting. But, fair enough. I wasn't, necessarily looking for 7-Eleven food. It was, we were on a road trip and needed food, and that was there.
Sure.
So I won't go out of my way probably, but yeah, it's kind of like a Little Caesars pizza type thing, which I think we went into.
Like if it's there, totally. If not,
Like I'm not going to drive to go get it, but there's a Little Caesars like right near us, so it's kind of dangerous. Sure. End up going there a lot, but yeah, working. You know who else is working hard?
No.
Big B. He's on the trail. He's detecting shit.
Yeah.
Going out, solving crimes.
It's true. Well, solving one crime, I guess. And
not doing a good job.
Like, kind of just looking around for stuff that's easy to see.
Doing sheriff stuff.
Stuff, sure. We are talking about Telltale's game, The Wolf Among Us based on the comic book series Fables. Actually, a prequel, so a precursor to the actual comics.
Oh, okay.
But it's better than Walking Dead.
All right.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. I mean, we have an hour discussion or something out there about Walking Dead and some issues I had with it.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have those same issues with Wolf Among Us, so in some way it's fine.
Yet, because you would play through it over and over, so.
Right. Like, I mean, it has... Oh, yeah, I guess that's one of the things, right? Like, it's just like, oh, I am so uncompelled by this that whatever, and that it's using smoke and mirrors and kind of there's not a lot of choice in it, which is probably true. It just won't rear its head because I barely made it through the first run of the episode. I don't like the story. I don't like on just the most base level that there is. I just don't think it's a good story. It's just a bad idea for.
You haven't seen the story. Yeah. You saw one episode.
Oh no, I just mean like the whole premise, the conceit, like all of it. Like not even like, oh, I didn't like this character, I didn't like this thing. Like the idea of just we took a bunch of old pop culture and made a thing. Just kind of like it's like I'm a cat and they're just rubbing my fur forward towards my face, and they just don't understand what that's doing to me. But it's just got my back up. Like it's weirding me out. I thought it was terrible. Like
that's the worst description I've ever heard because it makes no sense. Just like
I'm a cat, and Telltale's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna pet your back," and I'm like, "All right, I'm into that." And they start rubbing the wrong way, and it's just like, "Don't you know how to do this?" But they just don't. And then eventually you have to claw them and run away. You know, I thought that was pretty evocative of how I felt about it.
You have to claw them and run away.
Yeah, put that on the box. Like, I want to claw Telltale Games and run into an alley.
Yeah.
No, it's just okay. Dark like taking kids' fantasy stuff and then making it dark. Like, I don't see any. That just does not appeal to me. Like, it's just lazy. It's just easy. It's like Todd McFarlane type business. Like, it's just like I made it moody and dark and creepy. You're just like, all right. I mean, that's the literally easiest way you could have gone, but okay. Like, I don't know.
Well, no,
like,
they went the easiest way they could have gone, and they made they announced another season of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The easiest way you could go is just reuse the same assets and the same idea, and then keep going with it, which is what everything does.
Like just keep riding the zombie train, you're saying?
The zombie train, if we want to get more like into other stuff, Assassin's Creed, I mean the Call of Duty's literally redoing the same game over and over. That's actually the laziest thing you could do.
But at least it's like a new story, you know?
No,
like,
it's not. Like
well, it is. It's not literally characters you know, like Mr. Toad and the Big Bad Wolf and the Three Little Pigs. Like it's not,
you know the characters, but you don't know them in this story.
Well, but like they're kind of cashing in on someone else's thing, right? Like it's like
as opposed to what?
As opposed to just
like the new Batman game that cashes in on Batman or Rocksteady's work.
Yeah, exactly.
Like other stuff does it. I don't know why you're taking such issue with this one because Telltale is just known for not having any originality at all.
They just license stuff and then put their own.
Sure.
Song or whatever, but I'm not saying like I don't like it sometimes. Like in some places, using some pastiche business is not okay. Like it's just this specific blend, doesn't work for me. Like it just like on a lot of like base levels, like observations, it's just like, all right, like the music's great. I like the visual style. I like the font, which is a weirdly specific thing, but I really like that font. Like, they have a coherent sense of style and place and all this stuff. It's just what the characters are doing and what they're talking about and who they are and what's going on is just like, I don't want this at all. Like, I just don't want this to happen. Like, it's like, you know, kind of reminding me of stuff like Seven or something, like serial killer, creepy stuff. But then they decided to kind of throw in Shrek. And that's just weird. Why would you do that? Like, who conceived of that combination and then how did that get handed to someone else? And they said, that's a great idea. Let's make a comic series. And then that goes on for several years. And then someone's like, that's a great idea. Let's make a video game. Like, it's gone. I don't know. It's so not what I'd be doing. Like, and like, here's the thing. There are like examples of this kind of just blending other things that I like the movie The Host is kind of just a mashup of a bunch of monster movie stuff. But then, like, they threw in a family drama. It's like, I don't know. Like, that combination didn't work for some people, but I thought it was great. So, by all means, keep combining stuff and trying different mixing of culture stuff. I'm just saying, like, this one, for me, made me just kind of, like, bummed out. Like, I was just, going through it, like, just kind of playing all the sequences and stuff, doing my QuickTime events and whatever and having a decent time with that. Like, I didn't ever get really frustrated with the gameplay. Like, I never failed a sequence, really, and was just like, I suck. Like, it went smoothly. Like, it went as planned. Like, they totally did the job. It's just, again, like, what it is, I don't like. So, that's all it is. Like, it would be like, if I'm walking through a movie store or something, it's just like, I'd read the back of the box and be like, oh, I don't want to rent this. And then I just put it back. Like, I just don't want to watch that. And you're just like, but, what about it? Like, is it the director? No. Is it the actors? No. It's just the story they're talking about. I don't want to read this. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to see this story. I don't think it's just not very interesting. So I guess I'm judging a book by its premise or something, but I don't know. I am all right. Like, it was a weird kind of thing. Like, it was like I put it down after it was over and it was just kind of like fine. And then just the more I thought about it, like, I was just like, I just don't think this was a well-conceived thing. So, that's kind of what matters to, like, at some point. Like, it's like you nailed all of the execution of a bad idea. So good. I don't know. Like, I feel kind of like just gross being that critical of something for that reason, but it's just who I am. It just did not resonate with what I'm feeling. So yeah.
Any idea why though? Like, why it didn't resonate? Like, if you could put like a specific, I don't know if we can do examples.
Well, I'm trying to think,
giving something out, maybe, or.
Well, like a little bit. Like, over the last month, I've been trying to kind of be more creative and write stuff.
Okay.
But I keep kind of coming up against these hurdles of like, nah, this just sounds like this other thing, or like this is just this other idea, So I kind of like have this, censor in my mind that's just like, you're just deriving from this other thing, and then I'll kind of stop, like, or I'll just kind of be like, nah, this isn't that great of a story idea. Like, I'm basically like starting over and over and over, and that, like, me seeing like people doing completed works of stuff that I just wouldn't let myself write ever is kind of weirdly frustrating to me, because it's just like, I wish my brain didn't care enough so I could actually make something, but I can't not care enough about, like, I don't want this to be judged as harshly as I'm judging it, so I'm just not going to put it out there. Like, that's just happened enough times. So maybe it's like some sort of weird self-conscious thing on that front. Like kind of the same reason, like, I was kind of like just confused by why Alfonso Cuarón would spend so much time making Gravity, because it's just like a thrill ride thing. Like, it's just like, why would you put so much time and artistry and effort into such a shallow thing? Is kind of the same confounding thing I'm having. But, like, part of it's probably like some self-loathing thing where it's just like, well, at least they're creating something. And I'm just like, well, but I wouldn't want to create that. So that's okay, right? And then I'm just having this weird kind of like internal crisis about it. So watching this kind of just mine a bunch of other stuff just brought up all these kind of like little alarms in my head of like weird tendencies that I'm seeing. And I don't know. That's probably why I reacted like I did, but I don't know. Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't know if I'll keep playing. Like, I thought the end story beat they end on was just kind of depressing in a way that wasn't fun or interesting. Like, it was like,
and like, should have been in the last episode, maybe, as a thing. Like, I don't know.
Like, it's like trying to up the stakes or whatever, but I just was like, irritated by it. Like, it's like, why do you need to go dark with everything? Like, why can't this just not be unpleasant? Like, what is my reason for hanging out in this world if everything is so messed up? Like, yeah, like, I've actually seen that sentiment expressed about Seven, like the serial killer movie with David Fincher directed, where it's just like, this is just a gross world. Like, this film world is just unpleasant, and I don't like the characters. Like, why? Like, this is just bad. And I kind of like that movie just as like a stylistic thing, but I kind of get why it's just like, yeah, this is like a weird thing to like, because it's not pleasant. Like, everyone involved, like, in the storyline is just kind of, I don't know, crude for no reason other than that's kind of novel. Because it's like, what if Mr. Toad was saying, like, motherfucker, you know? That would be edgy and weird. And, like, I don't know. Like, that as a easy, like, cash in for all this, like, kind of awareness of these characters, you know? Like, I mean, like, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen comes to mind. Like, that's kind of Alan Moore doing that.
Yeah.
And to me, that's, like, one of his less interesting books, because it's just like, okay, you just borrowed a bunch of stuff. Like, I mean, it's kind of cool that you know so much about these other characters that you can kind of write in character and kind of do stuff with them. But at the same time, like, this is glorified fan fiction. Like,
yeah,
that's what it is.
But, like, only if you care about the fables. I don't give a shit about most of them. Like, who fucking cares about Mr. Toad? Nobody.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like still like, I went on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride at Disneyland, and like,
I never did. I've never given a shit about Mr. Toad specifically, if we're gonna say that name. But
no, I'm just, you know, like, them kind of using this kind of awareness everyone has of these characters and then trying to flip it on its head. Is just kind of, I mean, it's the same thing that results in, like, some of the worst, like, My Little Pony fan fiction, where it's just like, what if this was fucked up? And you're just like, everything's already fucked up. What if it was happy and fun and everyone was just drinking tea and eating cookies? Like, that's less weird than what you're describing. Like, it's like, what if we made it dark? And it's like, it is already. Like, everything is. Why can't this just not be? You know? Like, what makes it better that way? I don't know. It's a weird tendency. And I don't know. I don't know
what, like, okay, besides the thing we shouldn't get into,
what?
I don't know what you're seeing as so dark. Like, it's just showing these, like, characters from kids stuff trying to, like, live with real life situations.
But it's like, I don't know if it's real life situations or if it's like this weird extreme world of situations where it's like, you know, Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver type worlds where it's just everybody's like, you know, working in seedy bars and it's all gross and everybody's drinking and punching each other. Like, it's just,
but that's real life. Like, if you went to a shitty part of the neighborhood, there'd be a bunch of people that know each other, and then one of them, like, fucks up and either accidentally or just straight up murders somebody, and then they all beat the shit out of him or something. Like, just because it's not our world doesn't mean that this isn't stuff happening in, like, the Bronx in New York. You know what I mean?
Like, it's like, this could conceivably be happening to somebody somewhere. I guess it's just parts of it is just in the story. They seem to make it clear that something this bad hasn't happened in this world for a long time. And you're just like, oh, well, why couldn't this game just be about the good times? Like, why does it have to dwell on the bad news story?
Because nobody will play a video game where there's no conflict. Because then it's like, why am I playing this? I mean, they might watch a movie of the good stuff, but they wouldn't actually... There'd be no compelling reason to do anything, you know what I mean? Like, you would talk to people, and then how are they going to make money?
Right.
Like, you would go to the bar and you talk to people, and then 4 episodes would not sell.
Okay, like, if it's like open with a sweet, good-natured thing, like Bigby's just trying to make it work, going down to the, like, grocery store where he's got a part-time job, and then he goes home and watches TV, and, you know.
I know that if they made my life as it is right now into a video game, that fucker would not sell 1 copy.
Are you sure there's saying. Like a growing art crowd that might be into it?
I don't want art people looking at my life.
Okay. It's like Gone Home Paul edition.
Oh man.
House.
There's like nothing interesting here though. Maybe
there is so much that
if I was a lesbian, maybe.
But it's like you look at, my bookshelves and, you understand a little bit about who I am as a person, right? You look at how messy
I've never seen your bookshelf.
There's a copy of Child of Eden sitting here. Like that says it all, really, doesn't it? But then you open it and 99 Nights is in there. So
that says everything I need to know.
Yeah, and then there's this box of cookies. Like, it's kind of in the little details that real storytelling comes through. I don't know. I'm just... I was just not...
I love that in the chat. Mouth was like, Nathan would buy it because Nathan's boring.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you would buy the video game on My Life because you're boring.
I'd buy the Paul game because I like boring games.
Just like a double, just...
whammy.
Yeah, man.
It's like digging both of us. Like, okay, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I literally shouldn't have played it this week. Like, I was just not in the mood for it. It's like, all right, got my day off. Let's play this game. And it's just like unpleasant serial killer story. Like, I was just like, I don't want this at all right now. Like, I've kind of been consciously not reading. Like, okay, like I borrowed a book from our store, which is a thing we are allowed to do, by Cormac McCarthy. It's called Blood Meridian. It was like this dark, gritty Western thing. Like, all sorts of, I detailed it last week, like with the funeral and all this stuff. I was just like, I am no longer in the mood for anything this unpleasant. Like, I'm just not going to read this. And then, I'm like going to video games for some escapism or whatever. And I boot up Wolf Among Us because I know it's only like 2 hours long. And then it's just like, man, everything's fucked up. People are dying. I was just like, I don't want this at all right now. I just don't want this. But it's not hard, so I'm still playing through it. But there's no light at the end of this tunnel. Like, it's just dark. And, like, they basically turn off the lights at the end of that game. Like, they're just like, and now it's worse. See you next month. And I'm just like, oh, God. Whoa. Like,
you know what it made me realize, though, playing it?
Yeah.
I don't like playing these type of games, so I don't know if I'm going to like Beyond Two Souls. Where it's just like, move... Well, no, the actual gameplay. Like, I'm not one for this, like, anymore. Move the controller or move the stick or now push this button. Like, fuck this. What a waste of time. If you're just going to give me a movie, just give me a fucking movie. Don't make me have to push a button.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Like, you're just kind of making a tedious movie at some point. Like, that is kind of thing. Like, at some point this week, I was just like, I just want mechanics. I just want game. Like, I just want to do stuff. So I've just been playing a ton of Spelunky and a decent amount of Don't Starve. Like, just... stuff that demands
Don't Starve doesn't look fun at all, though.
It's kind of fun. It's like the thing it's reminding me of is like the 7-day survival mode in Dead Rising.
Okay.
Where it's kind of just like you need to manage your food and kind of keep playing or else your guy will die and you don't want him to. And at the same time, you're kind of like discovering that there are actually things to do in the world as you play. And it's kind of cool, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing in a lot of ways. Like I'm almost comparing it to like a RTS in some strange way, where you're collecting resources, like you're just managing one guy, but you're still kind of going around to different trees and like chopping them down and collecting firewood so you can build a fire so that overnight you won't be murdered by the dark monsters or whatever. But then, even during the day and stuff, like, there's still threats. Like, it's just, like, a bunch of hornets come out of a beehive, and they're, like, well, not a beehive, obviously, a hornet hive. Is that a thing? Whatever.
Yeah.
There's
a nest.
Hostile insects, there's spiders, there's wolves, I guess, that just kind of happened. I don't know what that was about, but it was just like, did you hear that? And then I was just like, what? And then a bunch of wolves came, and I was just running through the forest away from these wolves. Like, it's kind of cool that it just creates this like weird hostile environment that you were fighting against, but it's like kind of miserable and unpleasant in a way too. But you kind of get to fight against it. Like, you aren't contributing to the bad stuff. You are just trying to make it. And in a way, it's kind of, I don't know, like, I've had some vague notions of, like, I think it was after a trip to a museum where I saw kind of, early man tools and fire building and stuff. I was kind of like, oh, this would be a cool thing for a game. And this is kind of like that. Like, it's just, you got to build tools, you got to build,
So it's Minecraft.
Fire. Yeah, it's just the survival component of Minecraft.
Yeah.
So, like, there's no real building. Like, there's, like, tech trees and stuff.
So it's a worse Minecraft.
Or way better. It's kind of up to you.
Because you can't build your own place, that sounds way better.
Yeah, like it's kind of like not expecting you to kind of fill in the game for them. It's just like, here's a game for you to play. It's kind of cool in a way. Like it's like they, I guess the current iteration of Minecraft is built out. Like maybe it has a bunch of more constructed mission stuff than when I was messing around with it. So I'm being a little snarky just in response to your snarkiness.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to actually being like, no, Notch is terrible. I don't know that. But yeah, I got more interested in this than I did in that game. But I've only done a couple runs of it. Like, my best one was like 13 days of surviving, which I guess that kind of like broken into days structure too is kind of doing something for me. Like, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of how time works. Like, maybe a little, like just the tiniest, like we got 0.2% of Majora's Mask in this DNA, and that's enough for me to kind of go like, all right, tastes pretty good. I'll probably keep it for a little bit, but I find Spelunky much more satisfying mechanically, so I'm just going back to that.
Because that game is built around the mechanics, really. So
yeah, whereas this is kind of built around like the weird world that you're discovering, but mechanically you're just kind of triggering animations. So it's just like, all right, I'm near this tree and I press A, and now Maxwell will tear a bunch of twigs off of it. Like there's no real like tactile, direct one-to-one thing. Like you press X and then he'll kind of go into his axe swing animation or whatever. Like it's a little less like one-to-one. Like, but equals output. Like it's a little more drawn out. But it's still kind of interesting. Like there's much more to discover in that game. I kind of stumbled onto some weird creature at the end and died, and that was kind of a weird kind of But yeah, in that roguelike way, I am enjoying it. I'll probably do some more runs. But after a big successful run, kind of where you've been playing quite a while, after you die, it's kind of a bit deflating because you're a little more invested than like Spelunky. It's like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. If you're doing quite. This is like no, I've been playing as this one for like 2 hours and then I died. So I mean, I still have all these lessons learned in my head, but I have like almost nothing to show for it. I mean, you do level up, I guess. Like I made it to level 2 after that run and unlocked a new character I can play as. So they're kind of trying to give you some reasons to not get super depressed and just leave. Like, I lost the game, and then you just kind of walk away. Like they're trying to bring you back, but I don't know. I'm Spelunky's kind of. I just want to finish it. I don't know. You can, right? That's a thing people can do.
Yeah.
You should beat that game. Like I kind of want to see what's what in that game. I've only ever gotten to the 4th world, and even then I always like just panic and die as soon as I get there.
Sure.
So, have you played much Derek Hughes Spelunky?
Not recently, nope.
Okay.
But now because of the Steam thing, I will play that and Don't Starve and finally test it out.
Yeah, because we got the family sharing thing going on.
We are family.
Yeah, we are family. It's like that song.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that song. Sorry for kicking you out, bro. I just wanted to play.
So we're gonna bring this up?
Yeah.
So I was doing a blind play of the Stanley Parable live yesterday, and you kicked me out, and people were cursing your name in the chat.
Okay.
Straight up.
Well, I didn't have any context for what you were doing. It was just saying you were. And
playing, I wasn't about to message you and be like, dude, I need you to just give me another 10 minutes because, like, I don't fucking care. It's your account, so whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't like bummed out or anything by it, but anyways, I played Stanley Parable, and you did too. I think I saw one ending on my own and one ending with the stream.
Okay.
The ending I did with the stream was where you go crazy in the basement and die.
Yeah. I've seen that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And I can't remember what the other one is. I'm just trying to... Oh, I guess 3 endings technically, if you consider that during the stream as well. I jumped off that, like, girder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you
like
consider
in the
that
warehouse
an
or whatever, you just kind of...
Yeah.
I don't know how many are in that game, but there's definitely more than I've seen. I've probably seen like 6 or 7 different endings.
I was told 8, but
okay,
maybe more. I honestly don't know.
depends what you consider an ending, because there's some where it like just kind of forcibly starts over.
Sure.
But there's more to that game, I think, than I've discovered so far. But yeah. How do you feel about it? Like, kind of its sense of humor and what it's doing.
The sense of humor is good.
Mm-hmm.
What it's doing is good. Okay. Do I feel it compelling enough to keep playing it? No, not really. Because like I mean, I get the sense of humor, haha, blah, blah, blah. You're still just walking around. So, like, I'd rather play... There's so many other games! Like, I don't know if I want to keep wasting time with this. I'll watch all the endings on YouTube, maybe, and then I'll be okay. I just don't care enough. Like,
well, it's kind of like, how can you break it is kind of the game. So, I kind of like, in a way, like, part of it is just having played many games over the years, you kind of just become accustomed with a bunch of dumb stuff games make you do. And this game is kind of calling out a lot of those. So It's just like, hey, I'm busy talking. Why don't you run around in circles for a bit? Like, the game actually says that, whereas in a lot of games, that's kind of what I end up doing. Like, you brought up Assassin's Creed. Like, there are those... In the first one, there's just dude is telling you story, and you just can't leave his office, so you just end up pacing around. And, like, to me, this is kind of subverting a bunch of these bad storytelling tropes that games just kind of throw in there, because that's...
By doing it.
Yeah. By doing like,
it's still doing it. I'm at the point now where the reason why I like playing the games I usually do and go back to is because I'm just playing a mechanics-based thing.
Right.
Like, the story aspects are getting really tiring to me to the point where, like, The Wolf Among Us I did like. However, I will never replay the first episode again. I found it very boring because I'm just pushing a button and making this movie play. So, like, why... I'd rather be doing, like, a Dota where I have to continuously be doing something otherwise. Like, there's mechanics there with Hearthstone, which I'll talk about, Heroes of Warcraft. It's a card-based game, so it's just all mechanics stuff. Mm-hmm. That's what a video game to me should be at this point. I kind of am caring less about story. Because the way they keep doing story is so fucking uninteresting for a video game that it's just wasting my time.
Authored stories,
yeah,
for sure. Like, I am definitely kind of becoming more and more like interested in just mechanical stories.
Well, you like Spelunky, like for the love of God.
Spelunky is an amazing story generating thing. Don't Starve is pretty good at that too. Like those kind of games that just kind of are like, here's a set of things you can do, and here's a place for you to do it in, and then you doing those things is the story. Like, it's your story of doing stuff. Whereas, anytime a game is kind of like, hey man, I want to tell you this thing, you like more and more it becomes just like, well, why didn't you make a movie? Like, you're in the wrong park. Go away. Like, what are you doing? So, I kind of feel you. Like, Stanley Parable is kind of like, when I played the mod originally a couple years ago, I definitely was a little cynical about it, because it was just like, no, I see what it's doing, but I mean, it's just doing it. Like, it's just, and sometimes it's not doing it. Like, my kind of issue with that back then was like, it wouldn't call you out on some stuff that I felt was obvious, but they've obviously put more and more in there as they play tested it more and more. And it's kind of impressive how many behaviors they foretold, essentially, like they kind of account for. But you're right, like, the actual experience of playing it is kind of just like walk through this maze, and then a funny British man will tell you things. Like,
as a study for like gaming psychology or something, it's fantastic. For a game I want to sit down and play, I'm done. I'm moving on.
Well, I mean, I don't think it really expects you to play it for more than like 2 hours or something.
Why would a video game not expect you to play it and put more like than one ending in, though? Of course they expect you to go through over and over.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's multiple endings, but what do you mean? Like,
that's where technology comes in, my friend. YouTube will show me all of that, and I don't have to sit around doing the same thing over and over.
So it's kind of like a puzzle, but it's like a story puzzle.
But it's not, because it's just forcing you through and then giving you a little piece of cheese somewhere.
I guess, in a weird way, this is, like, what we're saying right now could almost be applied to this other thing I've been playing, Device 6, which is
I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, this is an iOS game that's getting a decent amount of,
like positive praise right now.
Oh, dude, Stanley Parable is getting positive praise too. In fact, it'll probably be a fucking game of the year with these stupid fucking internet sites. So.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? It could even end up on one of our lists. It's weird.
It totally is on your list already, isn't it?
I don't know. The demo and like all the kind of other extra stuff.
I do like that the demo is kind of its own thing.
Yeah,
That's
demo's about demos. The PAX demo I saw was about PAX demos. Like, it's kind of impressive how many meta-narrative layers they keep stacking. Like, in a way, it's reminding me of, like, Truman Show in a way. Like, it's like you're the subject and the director is talking to you and trying to make you do his thing, but you don't want to, and that's kind of the thing. Sure. And that's kind of cool, but, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Like, it's kind of a limited amount of stuff you can really accomplish with that.
I think maybe it's just the fact that you have to consistently start at the beginning again.
Right. It starts accounting for that sometimes, but then sometimes it doesn't. But if you're playing it over and over in one session, it'll remember that you've done that, which is kind of cool. Like, it'll just be like, and blah, 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 just skip over here. Like, come on. You know, like, I know, let's just keep going. It'll kind of do that, which I appreciated. But
that is
when
good.
I picked it up for another session, it kind of forgot all of that, which was kind of lame, because then I was doing the same, jumping through the same hoops again. But yeah, like, it's kind of expecting gamers to have a decent amount of patience by now, maybe, because if not, how have you enjoyed this hobby for this long? But
I guess I haven't. The more I think about it, the less I actually like video games. So
yeah. So it's kind of a tricky thing whether people enjoy playing. But that I've kind of been digging some of its sense of humor. It's another one of those things though where, like, if you see some of the jokes, like, you obviously don't need to play it yourself. Like, you're right, YouTube would basically sum up this game. You don't need to walk down the corridor exactly to get all of it yourself, because the gameplay is so strict. Like, it's just you can walk or crouch and press buttons sometimes, and I think that's pretty much all you can do. So, I understand what you're saying, but what was it? I was trying to kind of.
You're talking about the
6.
Yeah.
Right, which it's from the makers of Yearwalk, which was that game earlier this year that I thought was really cool.
Sure.
In a way, it's kind of iterating on their companion app, like some of the ideas they implemented in the final bit of Yearwalk, which a lot of people apparently never saw, which is too bad because that was kind of my favorite part of the game. But anyway, it's basically a book. It's basically like an interesting choose your own adventure story.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same way, I guess, like, it is a very authored thing that has a very narrow range of things you can do. Like, as a player, you kind of aren't playing much of a game. It is more of a odd take on writing a book, like an audio book that you kind of have to scroll through and make different choices and can kind of solve puzzles in it. I've been stuck. I haven't figured out how to get further in it, which is kind of weird, but...
Okay. So you haven't seen the ending yet?
No, I haven't. So I can't really say whether or not it's worth it. It's just, I mean, a lot of, like, other factors kind of come into, like, considering whether or not this is a worthwhile use of anybody's time. Like, these games are like $4 or $5 because they're like iOS things.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, do you want an interesting audiobook? Like, normally those can be $30 or $15 or whatever. This one's $5, and it's kind of novel.
It's in your pocket, so you're at the doctor's office or something. It's there.
Yeah. So, like, in a way, it's like, well, I wasn't expecting this to be like a finely honed mechanical game. So
right, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, $15 for Stanley Parable. I don't know if that's a good value for you or not. It really depends on your personal, like, way of looking at it. Like, it's like, well, I got more than a movie's length of time out of it, so that's worth it because I'm one of those weird people that pays $12.75 to go see a movie. So, paying $12 while it was on sale for Stanley Parable is kind of a bargain. But if you're not looking at it that way, it's like, what? This is not very, like, I mean, I could be playing so much Spelunky right now.
Like, on the other side, though, Stanley Parable is definitely one of those, like, oh, it's going to be a sale game, and you'll get it for $5.
Sale game, yeah. I mean, it just came out, so there's some kind of celebration of it right now, but it could kind of fade away at some point. I don't know. Mixed feelings on some of these, but I don't know. I've generally enjoyed my time with Stanley Parable quite a bit. Like the stuff I was doing just before we started casting a couple hours ago was pretty cool. There's some clever things they do. Some fun kind of just observations on gaming stuff. So
just some
I'm not
stuff.
sure. Yeah, there's some good stuff. There's some good stuff in there, man. You should go look at that stuff, maybe, if you want to. I don't know. I'm not going to be too forceful about it, but hey, if one of your people on Steam Family Share has it, maybe spend a little bit of time with it. It's worth the click.
We can't be the only people that are doing that, right?
Oh no, not at all. Come on. Like
no, but I mean, like, I'm just trying to think. I don't hear other people talking about it really on Twitter and stuff. So,
well, I'm wondering if a lot of like gaming personality people are just like, oh, dude, I have an ass ton of free codes anyway. I don't care. Like they're so removed from like the bargain this is for normal people that it kind of doesn't matter.
Right.
Like, just, oh, if I want to play, if I am willing to grant some of my time to any game on the planet, surely the publisher will indulge me.
Okay, I got a question for you now, though.
Right?
Where does this end? Like,
I don't know.
The way it's set up right now, is that like us and our little group of like podcasting / video game people, like our little friend zone,
our little family, our family,
our family.
Yeah.
So like, of course, we all trust each other completely with all of this, so that's fine. What if somebody randomly on Twitter was just like, hey, I've been following you for a while, I love what you do with top-down perspective and all that stuff, let me use your games?
Yeah, that's
a big no from me. That would be a fuck you.
Well, I mean, it's like, that is kind of a daunting thing. Like, that's a level of trust that's hard to get outside of real life interactions, right? So, I mean, like, there's some cool cats on my Steam friends list.
Oh, dude, like everybody that follows what we do on Pixel Response is like my best friend, but not in the way that if you fuck me over, I can't come to your house and kill you, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm not that attached, you know. Like, I'm still a little.
Like, no, I'm just saying I can't do that with them because they're everywhere, and also I love them. But like, if I fuck you over on Steam, you can come to my house and just be like, "What the fuck, bro?" And then we can have it out.
Right. Like, there's an accountability there. Like, it's just like, well, I'm just trusting like some voice somewhere to not do the worst thing, which is, hey man, let's look into your kind of Steam wallet here or whatever, or kind of what do you got?
I didn't even think about that. You're right. They can do that.
Like, there's a exchange process that kind of involves being really trusting with whoever you're kind of welcoming into your Steam family, which definitely becomes a bit of a kind of curious thing. But so far, I mean, because we all know each other, it's fine. But you're right. Like, that would be kind of several steps above me giving out my like Skype handle or email or something to some person on the internet. Like,
do you give out your Skype handle?
Not normally. I have like maybe once or twice in like weird circumstances, but yeah, weird.
See, I'm okay with the Skype thing myself.
Okay.
Because anything I can block and ignore, and the other person can do nothing about it. I'm okay with like just giving them information to find me or add me on it.
Right. It's less of an hassle than a phone number or something.
But like, when people can go on to something that has a wallet associated with it, fuck you, you're not getting in. You know?
Yeah. Like, it's just like, I'm not sure how much like data is saved in there in terms of like credit card stuff or whatever, but it's definitely kind of a dicey proposition sometimes. So yeah, I don't know. Even though there's like cool people out there on the internet, I'm not that keen on doing it. Also, it becomes more and more weird, like, the more people you add, because you're kind of, like, with our little thing yesterday, like, feeling weirdly guilty about playing your own games. Like, it's just like, well...
You shouldn't feel guilty about that.
Someone's borrowing my game, but I want to play. Oh,
see, the problem here is like, if I lent you... Well, I lent you Demon's Souls.
Yeah.
I can still play my version of PSN, Demon's Souls, that I got for PS Plus.
Yeah.
Just fine. the problem here is that if I'm playing a game from your library, you can no longer play anything that you've purchased until I'm done, sort of thing. Like, you'll kick me off.
Without kicking you off. Like, as soon as I can play. Weird. Yeah.
Like, it makes sense if I'm playing Spelunky and you're like, dude, I want to do that now. Like, then sure. But we're not even playing the same game. So. Whatever. Right.
Like, it's just kind of like this library is being used. Like, it kind of lumps in all of it. So I could be playing Metro Last Light, and you're playing, I don't know, just Stanley Parable, which is the one you were playing, but Gone Home or something. Who knows?
Gone Home, sure. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
okay.
You're playing Gone Home again with the new commentary. And then, yeah, like, it's just kind of, this doesn't make sense in the real world way of, like, I lent that person a totally different game. Like, what does that have to do with this? But at the same time, they're being crazy generous in a way with this. Like, this is way better than, like, demos and stuff. Like, this is totally access to the full game as long as, you know, your friend's cool with it or whatever. Or your family member, ideally. I don't know.
That's
they have to know, right? Like, it's like, there's no family of 10 gamers out anywhere.
No, sure.
Like, maybe there's a big family somewhere with a bunch of kids that are all playing or something, but I don't know. That seems weird to me. I'm assuming they're kind of conceding to, hey, some people abuse our offline feature and kind of share Steam passwords and stuff. Let's just kind of roll this into a thing that we're controlling. And then, you know, people might actually buy these games if they like it enough. Like, you know, you're playing Don't Starve, and then I'm like, no, I want to play. And then you're like, man, that game's so dope. It's on sale right now, 50% off. I'm going to buy it. And then we can both play it.
Sure.
In theory, that's what they hope happens, I guess, right?
Yeah, so, I think, you know what? That's not a bad way to look at it for them either, actually.
Yeah. Like, they might actually move some copies of something. Or, like, you know, I know my friends owned Stanley Parable. I didn't actually know at the time, but I still bought it. Or, like, you know, I don't, you know, ask, hey, is anyone else getting the Deadly Premonition Director's Cut tomorrow?
Because you're going to buy it.
Because I already bought it, yeah.
Oh, you already did, right.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, that's tomorrow? Click, click, click. Metro Last Light was on sale. I was just like, I don't need to check. I just want this. Like, I've had this budgeted in my brain as, like, if this hits a low enough point, I will get it, and it totally did. So, done. I will check that out. $16, man. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, I know. Those guys worked hard, so, you know, thanks, Frictional, but I wasn't that keen on the first one to not ask any questions of the sequel, so. You're welcome? I don't know. They got money out of me, so that's, you know, more than you can expect sometimes with PC gaming.
They got what they wanted. That's it.
Yep. Sorry, Spelunky. Oh, yeah. Whatever. PSN stuff we talked about. But let's briefly bounce back.
Yeah.
It's like spooky Halloween time. That's going on.
Woo!
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Are a staple of Halloween.
Yes.
This past summer, Ryan Reynolds, the Green Lantern himself, and Jeff the Dude Bridges teamed up to battle ghosts in what was surely one of the most entertaining movies. I didn't get a chance to see it, but Rest in Peace Department, you check that out.
Yes.
How was that?
My first comment to the dude I was watching it with is, oh man, I bet the Rhode Island Police Department is so fucking stoked this came out.
I had never considered that, but there you go. R.I.P.D. Getting a lot of phone calls. I don't know. But yeah, okay.
What is R.I.P.D? It is Ghostbusters mixed with Men in Black.
It seemed a lot like Men in Black.
It's more Men in Black than Ghostbusters. In fact, the Ghostbusters part is literally only a ghost is trying to end, like, the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that?
It's fucking stupid as shit.
But in a fun way, because I like Men in Black, and that's kind of dumb. There's a giant alien that steals a guy's skin and stuff.
You know what? Let's go ahead and say the first time, it's okay.
Okay.
The second time, it's fucking stupid and boring.
You've seen this movie twice?
Yeah, so I watched up until the last 15 minutes at work with my coworker, and then we had to work and then get stuff finished, and then I went home. And then I watched it with Aaron fully to see the end.
Revisiting that stuff was just kind of miserable.
Terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Okay.
But, so Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, so he's not a good actor, and he's kind of a douche. Jeff the Dude Bridges is fan-fucking-tastic.
Okay.
But annoying at the same time.
How was that? Like, smarmy?
His character is just so annoying. He was a deceased lawman from back in the day, so he's always talking with that terrible accent and just always talking.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's still funny, but kind of annoying. Trying to remember who else is in it. Kevin Bacon is just Kevin Bacon, so he's a giant piece of fucking shit.
Kevin Bacon's in it?
Kevin Bacon is the, enemy.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
So, X-Men First Class style.
Sure.
Bad guy.
All right. I'm trying to think if there's anything worth saying about it, and no, not really. The one kind of weird gag that got me a few times, even though it's so dumb, is that when the R.I.P.D. comes back to Earth or whatever, they see each other normally like they would see them if they were alive again.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody else sees them as, avatars, different people.
Right. The trailer kind of hit this note pretty hard.
Right, exactly. So Ryan Reynolds is an old Asian dude. And Jeff Bridges, the lawman, is a hot blonde.
Haha.
Yeah, but it works out in some spots pretty good.
Just cut to them doing the thing.
At one part, there's a ghost that they're trying to catch running around downtown Boston or whatever, and on the side of buildings and shit. And Jeff Bridges uses his gun or whatever with a hook shot type of thing that gets him. So he's being pulled by this ghost. And when it shows what other people are seeing, they just see this model just being dragged along the side of a building and stuff. Just little stuff like that got a little chuckle out of me.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, see, so Meowth is actually from Rhode Island, and she's saying the Rhode Island or the R.I.P.D. acronym is just making me think of Rhode Island Police Department.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. The movie about the Rhode Island Police Department, which I didn't know what that movie was even about when I heard the name before the trailers came out. So I literally thought it was Training Day. For,
the poster
the Rhode Island
is just two dudes standing back to back with guns, and you're just okay, what is this?
I thought it was Training Day for the Rhode Island Police Department. Just some terrible fucking version of Training Day.
But sadly, no.
No. It's a giant piece of shit. So,
okay.
Yeah, not very good at all.
Speaking of box office bombs from this summer.
Yeah.
I watched The Lone Ranger.
Yes, you did.
Gore Verbinski's movie, which, looking at it, it technically broke even, but with all the marketing, I'm sure it actually lost $100 million or something.
I hope it did.
Yeah. It was actually okay. It was kind of entertaining.
Okay.
But only in that kind of do you enjoy Johnny Depp kind of way, because you're kind of going to be spending a lot of time with him doing wacky things.
I could kind of take or leave him now.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of that dude.
All right. Well, if you want to see 2 hours and 20 minutes more of him, but this time as a Native American, which might be offensive to you, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's waiting there. It's ready to go. It was more coherent in terms of plot than several of the Pirate sequels. I just remember watching Dead Man's Chest and just at some point not understanding who was betraying who, or why, or what they were searching for, or why there was a giant squid, or what the voodoo stuff. It was just I get that there's entertaining, ridiculous stuff happening, but I don't know why, and I don't really care. That was kind of just how that movie played out for me. I'm sure you could spell it out, but it just seemed like they were coming up with dumb shit as it went and kind of throwing it out there. The third one too, man. That just all over the place, just chaos. This is a little more honed on like, hey, there are key events that happen and they kind of lay them out for you. And maybe they spent a little too much time like expecting you to care about this kind of doofy Western plot, but it was kind of okay. Maybe a little dark at times. Like, I don't know who the target audience for this movie is. Like, it's not hard and gritty enough for like adults to be that, super into it. Like, maybe it's for adults, like 20 somethings, like is who they wanted. Maybe. I don't know. But it's like a little dark for kids. Like, it's just like cannibalism, like just like weird offhand, like, oh yeah, genocide anyway. And it's just like, that's not, you can't really just joke about that and like move on. That's not really a punchline.
Fuck that. We got a white guy playing an engine.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a little weird that way. But there's some inventive action sequences, decent acting all around. Like Armie Hammer's fine. He's the Lone Ranger. Johnny Depp is his wacky sidekick Tonto.
Oh my god.
Taking a lot of space.
Such a new role for him.
Wacky? Yeah, I know. It's pretty quirky, maybe a little bit. Like, it's kind of got some of that in there, too. There's, like, a framing narrative where he's playing, like, a much older version of Tonto, kind of telling the story, and they'll kind of, like, cut over to that sometimes. Like, it's just like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And then it'll be like, what? You said this. Oh, yeah. And then it'll kind of change. So it's kind of like that, Call of Juarez game I played.
Gunslinger. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, now that I think about it, weirdly, it's kind of like that. So if you wanted to see that in movie form, I don't know. I'm not sure.
If I wanted to see it in movie form with some good actors in it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Tom Wilkinson and Helena Bonham Carter.
Tom Wilkinson.
I like Tom Wilkinson. He's a good character. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who this is for. Like, it's like, do you like Gore Verbinski movies? Like, maybe it's like, did you like Rio? If you liked Rio, maybe check it out.
Yeah.
If you like the first Pirates movie, check it out. The Weatherman with Nick Cage.
I did like the Weatherman.
Yeah, this is not like that, really, so I don't know why.
Oh.
This is more like Pirates. like,
obviously.
Yeah, it's a Gore Verbinski movie, but
so it's like the Weatherman.
Yeah, it's kind of this weird character study. Oddly, there are some moments that are like strangely serious. Like, it's just like, oh, this is kind of just sad. Like, this origin thing is kind of just not fun. And then like 5 minutes later, there's a horse on top of a tree or something. It's like, weird. And kind of tries to play it off. So it's kind of inconsistent in tone. But I was entertained. Like, for the most part, I was totally entertained. This movie failed already, though. I'm assuming there's just not really an audience for this. So I'm not sure. I don't know why Disney keeps kind of swinging for the fences with these kind of like, we need a new Pirates franchise. John Carter. And you're just like, what? What is that? No. The Lone Ranger. It's like, Disney, stop it. Just don't do that. Just come up with good ideas. I'm not sure what they should do. I'm not a movie executive, but...
You should be.
Well, actually, no, maybe it's just like, at some point, just recognize when an idea isn't that great, and don't try to, like, make it a hit with marketing. Like, that can't turn a turkey into a success. It just can't. So just kind of be like, alright, we're gonna swallow a pill on this one. Let's just put it out there, make a little bit of money, but we're not gonna, but instead they just keep throwing millions and millions of dollars at it. There's like, if we paint this building in LA with Johnny Depp's face on it, maybe we'll make $50 million more dollars. That makes sense.
Sure.
Like, okay. You have a degree in marketing, I'm assuming, so you must know what you're doing, right? So there you go. T-shirts.
That Johnny came Depp out of nowhere.
All the time.
Johnny Depp is on T-shirts.
Yeah, it's true. I was
the reason it's on here.
Yeah.
Is we were joking yesterday.
Okay.
And would you be upset if your face was printed on a shirt that we sold through the site? Your happy face there.
Would this be for profit somehow, or what?
What do you mean for profit?
Like, is there a contract I need to sign or something? I don't know how this works.
No, just wondering if you would be pissed off.
Image rights?
Yeah, your image.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should talk after the show.
Because we were just laughing and people were like, I would totally wear a shirt with Nathan's face on it.
Like
so
the
like,
weird smile face that's like scary. I don't know, but technically I didn't take that photograph, so I don't know about that either.
It doesn't matter, it's your likeness.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It was just kind of on there to make you think about something.
In general, I guess generally no, but that's weird. But I don't know. Well, I'll mull this over some.
Like, what would you do if you're just like, all right, this is cool. I got my plane ticket, my hotel reservation. I'm going to go to PAX East. You go there and you see like a group of 3 to 5 people wearing a shirt with your face on it.
It'd be really weird.
It'd be so funny.
So weird.
Oh, man.
I'd probably be real awkward about it.
Would you actually?
Yeah, probably.
Like, it is weird because, like, we joke around and get along pretty okay on here.
Yeah.
I would say. In person, you are a lot more low-key than you are on the internet.
Unless I'm playing Slender, it kind of just doesn't come out.
Right, so you consistently have to be playing Slender.
Yeah. Be high-strung anyway, but jeez.
There's like 5 people already in the chat saying, make a shirt, I would wear it. I'd buy a Krasnor G shirt.
Okay. We'll consult our business. We don't have
our lawyers.
Yeah, all our lawyers.
Because this is going to end up real bad between both of us.
Yeah. This is going to be the thing that, like, split. Big schism.
We've been waiting for the shoe to drop this whole time.
Like, you're sitting on this mountain of t-shirt money, and I'm just kind of like, wait a minute. My face. And you're just like, yeah, but I edited the podcast, yo. I'm just like, oh, okay.
You're just like, okay.
I don't know how this should work. And yeah, it's like Mark Zuckerberg and...
In all honesty, even if we did that, we couldn't sell them for a profit. Because, like, nobody would pay for that expensive of a shirt.
Yeah, fair enough.
To make profit off of, like, a small order of them. It's just nobody's going to pay, like, $60 for a shirt.
I wasn't even thinking that high, but... Okay.
Well, I mean, it depends how, like, your run is, right? It's lower the more you go, and we're not going to order, like, 1,000 of them.
Oh, God. No.
Yeah, exactly. So, like,
right.
I don't know.
There are t-shirt sites that enable such things, but...
Yes.
Okay.
But then they take the cut. So you kind of give them the right to sell it.
Oh.
I think that's how it works anyway.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Either way... Your face on a shirt would be the funniest thing, and I would wear it every time we hung out, which is never anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, there was like an attempt this week, but it just didn't pan out, because, I don't know, I was at the mall. That was last week, but still.
Yeah. That was 2 weeks, wasn't it, even?
It was right after I finished Beyond Two Souls, so I don't know.
Okay.
It was probably 2 weeks ago almost, but... Yeah, there's just, I don't know, I'm looking at a, like, gauntlet of shifts, too, like, it's just not... There's no time anymore. It's kind of sad. November? Yeah.
Woo!
Slow down. I don't know.
You know what's important? With all this talking about t-shirts and money-making empires and broken friendships and dreams.
Yeah? What?
Mega 64 Blu-ray is coming out. It's a thing.
What? Okay.
Do you not know?
I guess I don't know.
They announced a box set, dude, of everything in a Blu-ray, all HD.
Like all of it, like all the time videos.
Yes.
All the Gamer Wars.
All 3 versions.
What about the PAX exclusive?
Like
skit
probably.
Like that menu they did on the PAX 2010 DVD where it's just like 10 minutes of their office and it's like them talking in HD. Can I get that on there?
That would be pretty great.
Anyway, okay. All right. So HD Mega 64 coming out.
Yeah.
Is it just all the seasons and everything? It's just all the stuff?
Yes.
Huh.
All 3 versions, they say.
I mean, I already own a bunch of it on DVDs.
I mean, I already own the 3 versions, so...
Yeah. How much is this new business, though?
No price yet, but if it helps them out and it's, like, not over $80, I'll probably buy it.
Okay.
I think $80 would be the okay price point, right? For Blu-ray, for 3, basically, Blu-rays.
It's 3 Blu-rays? That's what they're saying?
I don't know if it is or if it's all on one. Because they do short videos, so...
A lot of gigs on a Blu-ray, so...
Yeah.
That's possible. But...
Yeah. So I'm not sure, but, like, if it's over $80, that's gonna be a hard sell for me.
Does it have all of the videos on their personal channels as well?
That would be amazing, but no.
This YouTube archive, hundreds of hours.
They just archived all of YouTube.
Yeah, it's just all of their YouTube presence is just on a couple Blu-rays.
That would actually be amazing. That would be so good.
You just click play on Eric Badur and then just watch his channel.
I watch Garrett's a lot.
XG Hunter or whatever.
I love Garrett. That guy's great.
Yeah, Garrett's pretty great.
And we talked before on this podcast, I think, about his store casts. Those are great.
When a store?
He goes into a store and just, like, is Skyping from his phone, like, recording video from his phone or something, and Skyping in with people.
That sweet data you can get in the States. It's so
I know. Cool. We could do so many things.
There's, like, legislation going on that is trying to kind of take it to task for, like, these Wi-Fi people, like the internet providers here, trying to kind of be like, stop being dicks. Stop it.
Well, we're finally getting the a la carte model.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Proposed thing, so. CRTC, man. Good job. Thumbs up. I approve of what you're...
You totally put the thumbs up before you said that, right?
I'm actually holding my thumb up, yeah.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, it's still up.
It's a good thumb.
That's how strongly I feel.
That thumb doesn't come up often, but when it does, oh man.
They earned it.
They did.
Telltale, not so much. It's starting to drift a little south.
I'm gonna say Telltale's never really earned a full thumbs up. Maybe like a middling, like, sort of thing where I'm shaking my hand back and forth. That's probably them.
That's a harsh indictment, but okay.
Not really.
I like Puzzle Agent.
You like what?
Puzzle Agent.
Oh, yeah.
That first one probably earned more of a... Yeah, that was good.
It was more like an, okay.
Yeah, that was okay. That was good.
Sure.
It's like Fargo or something. I like that movie.
Fargo?
Yeah, Fargo.
Fargo is really good.
Do you know they're remaking it for TV with Billy Bob Thornton?
That's so good. That's amazing.
It's really weird, but I'm kind of interested. Yeah, so there you go. T-shirts, Mega 64, Lone Ranger. Hey, what else is going on?
Lou Reed died.
Yeah. Who is that?
Lou Reed was the frontman for the Velvet Underground.
Okay, what is that? What are they known for? Is that like Velvet
music?
Revolver?
No. It's nothing like Velvet Revolver.
Not to be sorry. That's just another thing with Velvet in it that involves rock and roll, right? So I figured.
Yeah. No, he was a musician, songwriter, one of those guys. I mean, it's not overly sad
talking about it, but I just don't know, like, what is this, like, oh man, like Robert Plant died, like that kind of thing for people?
To some people, yeah.
Like one of the Beatles, you know?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing like where the world stops and everybody mourns, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hipsters, they mourn probably for Lou Reed.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Okay, so You know that commercial for the PlayStation 4 where they're just like there's two dudes and they're in like different battle situations and they're singing that like, it's such a perfect day, glad that I spend it with you. That's his song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. He's just a musician. Velvet Underground has a pretty big following, especially because if I remember correctly, the first album was released by him and Andy Warhol. Was that the first album? Maybe? I can't remember. It's a totally like music hipster sort of group or musician, him in general as a musician. But he died. He was 71 years old, and I think he died from like liver failure or something because rock stars don't have healthy lives. Something like that.
It says the cause was not reported, but Reed underwent a liver transplant in May. So it might pertain to that. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw this definitely pop up a bunch, like on Reddit and IMDb and stuff. And I was just like, okay, I don't know about this, so that's okay. And I just kind of left because that's all I don't have a frame of reference. I don't know.
Sure.
But there you go. Music Man.
And
one of his songs was covered by U2, so there you go.
There you go. The real Music Men.
Mm-hmm.
I guess.
Bono. Yeah, The Edge. Everyone loves those guys. It's not true.
No, it's not true at all. Was it with you that was I talking to you about what The Edge did that was really fucking stupid?
No, I don't think so. What did The Edge get up to?
Where he copyrighted his sound.
What's his sound?
His guitar sound, like the distortion he uses, is like copywritten.
Like the frequency of it or something?
I don't know. It's just so
like, what does that mean? It's just like, no, you can't play guitar like this. It's like, well, what? Like, how? Like, I guess no one can buy that pedal anymore or something? What does that do?
I don't know. But anyways, that dude's an idiot.
All right.
We can't make that sound because this guy won't let us.
Like, if you're just... Well, I mean, I'm assuming in songs or whatever, like, music. It's just like, you're in the middle of a field with, like, an amp or whatever, and you're just like, all right, let's try this out. And then, you can't. You're not allowed to. You get a text on your phone, and it's just like, stop it. We know. It's like, oh, it's from The Edge.
Stop. Shh.
Let it happen.
We know. Yeah.
Do that. Yeah. You're just like, turn the knob a little more. Oh, okay. That's acceptable. Weird.
Yeah, exactly.
So The Edge is a fan of copyright law. That's super uncool, man. Super uncool.
Yeah.
It's not vogue right now. Yeah. Speaking of copyright stuff.
Yeah, you just roll. Just keep going.
Who owns the rights to Amalur now that 38 Studios doesn't exist?
Dude, I honestly don't know. Who? Do you know?
No, I don't know. I'm asking. Like, does Kurt Schilling just still have that, or does Rhode Island own that?
I honestly have no idea.
Weirdly, isn't that where like all this happened, like the 38 Studios stuff? It's like the Rhode Island PD were actually called in.
Yeah, the Rhode Island Police Department.
To supervise the auction of 38 Studios assets when all that went wrong.
Sure. The Rest in Peace Department, Jeff Bridges was there and everything.
Yeah. Anyway, I finally played that game that came out, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning.
Yeah.
Thanks to PlayStation Plus. And I guess more importantly, thanks to the fact that my PlayStation has a hard drive in it now that can actually do some stuff. It's got 500 gigs in there. So it's awesome. You can just download everything. Everything, Paul. All of it. You can just be like, yeah, put Hitman on it. I don't know.
Put a Hitman on it.
Yeah. No, it's great. But anyway, I've been playing some of this Reckoning game.
Yeah.
Which, I guess, for those that don't know, it's like some of the dudes who worked on Oblivion ended up on this team of people at Big Huge Games and made a fantasy RPG that's kind of going in that epic scale direction and whatever. Have you checked this out at all, or?
Yeah, when it came out, I downloaded the demo. I loved it, but I wasn't going to buy it.
Okay. Yeah, like, I mean, I've been kind of flirting with the idea of playing this game for a bit. Like,
it's a single player MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a way, some of the quests they throw at you are kind of distasteful not distasteful in like a moral sense. I mean, just like they're kind of like, in terms of how MMO-y they are. Like, it's just like, hey man, go get me 15 spider glands. Go do that.
Spider glands?
Yeah, I gotta go kill some big spiders and then bring back the glands. And then a person can make a potion or something. Like, very fantasy RPG type stuff. Like, yo, go kill some giant rats. Like, stuff like that. Real conventional stuff. What makes it kind of cool, though, is the combat's actually kind of fun. It's actually kind of good. Like, really well-considered control scheme. So, I mean, I never grew up with that kind of Diablo clicky type stuff. So games like Torchlight and all that, I didn't really like in their kind of computer iterations, right? But then when I played Torchlight at your house, I was like, this is great. This is really cool. Yeah. And I played that for like 3 hours. Like, this is kind of doing some of that for me, where it's like, okay, a game that is really thought through for a gamepad that has all that loot collecting and just kind of going adventuring kind of stuff. And it's like kind of visually reminding me of Fable, and I haven't played a Fable game in like 5 years. Like, really? I mean, I dabbled in 3, but then just stopped playing it because that game was not doing it for me.
That game sucks.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the consensus by now. That game sucks. Fair enough. I don't know.
What has happened to you? You used to be able to say stuff like that. You can't do it anymore?
The thing I've heard is, like, the ending is the part that really sucks, and I never saw that.
No, I mean, like, you're very reluctant recently to just be like, oh, this sucks, sort of thing.
This thing's garbage. Like, well, I think it's just in that game, I literally just don't know. Like, I know the menu was garbage and the map was terrible, but as it went, like, there could be some neat stuff in there. I just never saw it. Like, there's a quest I've told is called, like, The Game or something that's actually supposed to be kind of cool, but I just never played it, so I don't know. But yeah, it wasn't pulling me in. This is definitely pulling me in a lot more so than that is. Although I will say, like I was saying, with some of the quests being very conventional in a lot of ways, like, just go collect this stuff and bring it back here, like, that blunt about it. The way they kind of introduce you to a lot of these quests was a little bit blunt. Like, I was like, at some point I was just like, oh my god, like, everybody I talked to was just like, hey man, go collect this stuff for me. Do you want to do this? And it's like, yes or no. And you kind of have to say yes, because otherwise you're not going to be playing the game. Like, if I just walked up to everyone just like, no, I don't want to do that, you're boring, and just walked away, I'd have like an empty quest log, but also not be earning any experience. Like, I just have nothing to do. So it's kind of this weird thing where it's just like, well, all right, I'll do this really, like, boring sounding, tedious mission and whatnot. But I mean, the combat again is kind of really well considered. Like, the way everything maps to your gamepad, like your primary weapon's square, your secondary weapon's triangle. You can kind of vary up stuff with, like, the triggers, do like parries and stuff. Like, I didn't even know that was in there. Like, they didn't tell me that was a thing, but you can kind of block at a specific time and kind of throw a parry in there. Different classes of weapons and all this stuff that behave very, very differently. They're pretty lenient about where you put your skill points. Like, I've been, like, spreading my skill points around. Like, I've just been dabbling in stuff. And at some point it just unlocked a new class that was like, you like to dabble in stuff, essentially. And I was like, oh, cool. All right. Yeah. So
like a jack of all trades class or whatever.
Something along those lines. They might be Wayfarer or something. I'm not sure. But they at least, like, didn't try to, like, put me in one spot or whatever. And, you know, like, I liked Skyrim a lot. But the only combat I found satisfying was archery. Like, I was just like, this is just better. Like, I'm just going to shoot guys with arrows because it's kind of awesome, and, like, stealth or whatever. And then whenever it resorted to, well, I kind of liked some of the magic stuff because it was almost like a shooter. Like, you're just, like, flamethrowing dudes, essentially. But the flamethrowing, is that?
Yeah.
Is that dudes?
Flamethrowing, I think, is the proper way.
Flamethrowing guys. Flamethrowing and all these guys.
Yeah.
But the sword combat, I just kind of wasn't feeling that much. This is much more kind of
it's a third person game, but it's kind of more of a not like Japanese action games, but a little bit like more kind of rolling out of the way, maybe kind of like God of War rather, or Darksiders a little bit. Like
what about Too Human?
You know what?
Yes.
At some point I was like, oh, this is like Too Human, but good. Like was kind of some of the vibe.
I wasn't saying that in jest. Too Human's control scheme was okay.
Yeah, it was more just like all sorts of parts of the lore and the cutscenes, and I don't know. Like I didn't get into that game. Whereas like there was definitely moments where it's like this is like the little brief glimpse of Too Human. Like this is kind of reminding me of that, but I'm actually having a pretty good time. So I put about 7 hours in it so far. The main storyline actually seems kind of cool. Like it's basically about how you all of these games seem to be about you're the chosen one. Like you're weird. You have special powers that no one has seen in generations or whatever. It's kind of doing that, but at the same time, everyone's just kind of baffled by it. Like it's just like you're breaking time. You make no sense. What you're doing is ruining timelines, and that shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of it. And it's kind of, I don't know. The characters, the way they're written, seems to be pretty consistent with that, and it's kind of cool to see. And plus, because it's an EA game, they just have all sorts of weird hooks in there. So I have like Mass Effect armor on.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, hey, you played this according to your EA profile, so here you go, Shepard's Greaves or something. I'm just like, oh, okay. And so like my lady just looks kind of like my Shepard did. It's just weird. It's like this is not from the same people, but it's kind of reminding me of that stuff too now by proxy. So I don't know. It's kind of I'm pleasantly surprised with aspects of it. Like a lot of combat, like all the missions seem to involve combat, but again, because it's actually kind of mechanically interesting to do, it's okay. So yeah, I'm kind of getting my Torchlight on via this game because I was kind of disappointed, honestly, with Torchlight. Like they don't have the XBLA controls in the PC versions. They just are like, no, these are separate things. Why would you want to do that? And I'm just like, I kind of thought the control scheme they came up for that was better. So sorry, like in any of those forums where it's like, does this have controller support? And then there's PC people just raging at you. Like I'd be one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's just like, I want to use a gamepad. Can I use a gamepad? No. And yeah, you can in this game, obviously. So I'm kind of happy with it. So yeah, PlayStation Plus continues to be great. I also played Hotline Miami on a controller.
How was that?
It's kind of weird to wrap, like I got pretty deft with some of the stuff in Hotline Miami on PC.
Well, I'm gonna say I tried it with a controller on PC, and it was the worst experience I've ever had.
The worst experience?
It was terrible.
Wow.
That game needs to be played with a mouse.
Okay. I don't know. At some point, I kind of just got used to how it went, and I was doing okay. Like I'm about halfway through a little past half probably. But yeah, I'm definitely not getting the scores I was getting on PC. Like I'm barely making it through some of this stuff, and kind of just playing it a little differently than I did. Like I had to just adjust my playstyle. Like it's like finesse is not possible. I'm just gonna like shoot and hope it works out. So it's just kind of more chaos than was in the PC one, maybe a little bit. Like I can't plan out a course of action as smoothly. It's more just kind of like run in and mess up dudes as best I can. Yeah, I'd say it's ideal with mouse. Like it just works better, especially the aiming stuff. Like you can just right click and then you get to see more and then switch back. This still has kind of zoom out a little bit and kind of see more stuff, but with all the kind of lock on targeting and whatever that you're doing, like you can opt to lock on if you want. It kind of changes the game in a weird way. So I don't know. It's kind of weird. I was thinking about it, like Hotline Miami, in relation to some of the things we were saying about Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
Like stylistically, like it's like some of the same like pink neon, like that kind of synthy business was in there, but like again, it kind of just did it for me in one and not the other, because like I mean they're so different, right? Like the Hotline Miami is that mechanics thing, and that stuff is just flavor. Whereas the flavor is kind of the star of, in some ways in Telltale stuff. Like it's takes a center seat a little more, and I don't know. But wait, I'm trying to think back to let's just go back to the first topic we kind of opened with. You said you generally liked Wolf Among Us, right?
Yeah, for the most part.
But then you were kind of still digging into some Telltale trash talking a bit.
Sure.
What is it about? Like, you're still down though? You're gonna play more episodes? Like, what did you like?
I don't feel like I like. Not to spoil the ending of the first episode.
Okay.
I don't feel like I want to anymore, just because I don't know. Like, they did something with one of the characters I was actually enjoying.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know if I care enough about some of the other ones.
Like, it's like they kind of burnt the one bridge you care about. And then it's just like, oh, okay. Well.
Kind of. Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm still, maybe just kind of beholden to like staying up to date on the topics of gaming right now. Like, I'll probably keep playing it in some sort of like obligated way, and maybe I'll be in a better mood come the next episode or something, and I'll actually get something out of it. But yeah, it's definitely not like I will say I was compelled by Walking Dead in a way. Like, I wanted to see the next one while those were coming out, right? I just kind of ended up a little miffed by where they finished, and like
Sure.
some of the mechanical stuff that was unearthed over the course of playing them over and over. Like, yeah, this time I'm not like waiting with fevered anticipation or whatever about the next one. Like, it's just kind of, I think I got a season pass for that, so it'll just be kind of like, oh, hey, here's the next episode. Okay. Like, it updated, might as well check this out. Like, I could see that happening, but anyway. Sorry to end on kind of a thing again. Do you want to?
Let's make it a little bit more happy.
Okay.
This week, I have purchased 2 20-packs of cigarettes. So 20 packs are 5 less than usual. Usually 2 would last me a day and a half.
Okay.
So I've been slowing down on the smoking. I'm at the point now where I'm kind of doing it just to quell the craving and habit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, as I'm doing it, I feel sick. So I don't even finish full cigarettes anymore. I have about 2 puffs and then put it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might not die right away anyway. Or ever. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm at the point now where as long as I give up smoking and maybe drink a bit, I'm probably impervious to all sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good.
I think that's how it works, right?
I think so. So
Yeah.
I'm almost immortal, which is good because I'm going to do some fucked up shit.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so that's happening. It's still on schedule just as kind of a update to that. And I've been playing Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft card game. Not really a whole lot to say about it. It's good. It's in closed beta right now. It'll go into open beta, and then it will be available to buy on PC and probably tablets and phones and shit. But it's really good. I like it, and I don't like the trading card game arena battling sort of games very much. So for me to say that, it actually kind of means something.
Okay.
So pretty happy about that. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot I can really say about it because it's a card game. So you play
who
the
have you
cards.
been playing with, I guess?
I've been just doing the practice mode against AI because I need to unlock cards. Like there's 9 different classes. Like you have your warrior, your rogue, your warlocks. They're all different classes, and I'm building the decks right now by practicing against the AI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because I need to unlock them good cards, and then I'll make my custom decks when I know what the cards do and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's been fun. It's been a good time. You don't like those type of games, I'm guessing?
I don't know. For a brief while, a bunch of my friends were into Magic. And I started down that path, and then immediately was just like, oh, this is too much, and just stopped. So, like, I have some Magic cards around, but I never really got too into it. So, kind of by choice, I avoided such things.
Yeah.
For fear of spending too much money on them and not getting much reward, really. But yeah, this is just a one-time purchase thing? Like, just, hey, you got the game.
Oh, I haven't purchased anything.
Okay. But
it's only beta, right?
Right. But I mean, like, it's a video game, right?
Yeah, it's a video game.
So it's like those Magic downloadable games on Xbox?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what it's like. Yep.
Okay.
Super easy to get into, though, which is good, because Magic I never found easy to understand what's going on.
You gotta tap that mana, and then you can do spells.
Oh, damn, son. I'm gonna tap that. Tap that mana.
There were shirts that joked about that wordplay at PAX.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. I forgot to mention Hey Child of Eden. I played some of that.
For the first time ever? Or
No. That was my game of the year in 2011. Which mainly just because it's Rez 2, which I liked Rez so much. Playing it again some years later, I really wish you had an on-screen avatar. Like, just some sort of character. Like, you are just a cursor in that game, which kind of mutes some of the personality of it, which kind of bums me out. But I tried playing it with Kinect. That shit's broken.
Kinect?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kinect's a giant piece of shit.
Yeah. I hadn't really tried to play a game I like with kind of mechanics I understand. Like, I just kind of assumed the games that have been made for it are just kind of finicky or something. But
that reminds me.
That piece of hardware is fundamentally kind of wonky.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
Are we going to still do a Kinect stream?
We can. Hopefully you have more floor space.
I do. I do now.
I might have been like minimum distance from it, and it was just having all sorts of problems. Like, it's just like, oh, suddenly you're looking down and to the right for some reason. You're just like, no, that's not where I was. Okay, my left arm is out now, and I'm shooting the wrong type of thing. It was just chaos. It was just all weird. So then I switched controller and played the first couple levels, and that whale turned into a phoenix. And yeah,
I love it when that happens.
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah, that game. I'm kind of curious about the Move version, like the PlayStation one. Maybe that would be a better control scheme for it.
If we had a way to rent it, we could figure out.
It's not very expensive. I'm thinking of just buying it. Because
all right.
I mean, I'm a big Rez fan, so the follow-up to that game, like buying it twice, is not something I'd scoff at. So
sure.
Yeah. I mean, I own Rez in 2 different forms.
And then we could play it with your gun for the Move.
Yeah, the way it was meant to be played.
Yeah.
Just pop it in the Killzone gun and aim at the weird, corrupted beams and make the techno music play.
In all honesty, we should do this. We'll just have like a stupid motion-controlled game night.
Okay.
I will. Can we do this? Let's talk off air about this.
Okay.
Because
I was about to put my schedule, but
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Let me just see here. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Wait. When are your work days again?
Wednesday to Saturday every week.
Wednesday to Saturday. Oh, dude. Okay. Tuesday the 5th.
Okay.
We could make it remember the 5th of November themed.
Oh my god. Maybe.
V for Vendetta night.
I work the day after that, though.
It's just I have work like every day before that.
Like, do you really?
Yeah. Like, I mean, there's work tonight, as we've mentioned, but then, sleep or whatever is going to happen tomorrow, and then I have 6 days in a row. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're off the 5th. Remember, 5th of November. You're off.
Yeah.
So you will always remember it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And then, I'm also off Wednesday and stuff, but that doesn't help, right? So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Can you hear those idiot dogs upstairs?
Yes, a little bit.
I'm not sure what they're barking at, but they're barking up the wrong tree, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I do. You're gonna have some dogs for supper.
Yep. Make like a tree and get out of here.
Yep. Want to move on? Messages or?
Yeah, let's go on to voicemail messages. So, first...
Message time.
Yeah, there you go. Should I even say who they're from? Like, does it really matter?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, yeah, might as well, right?
I mean, most of the time they're like, hey, it's me, or like, whatever.
Oh, in the actual message?
Yeah.
Oh, like okay. If that's the case, just hit play, I guess.
All right, well, Meowth. Here we go.
Question for Nathan. Since I know you probably don't like anything that's not Grand Theft Auto 5, but this isn't about Pokemon. I mean, the question implied is, have you played Pokemon yet? But you'll probably say no. I haven't. But have you played the new Phoenix Wright game? Because that's like complete opposite of Pokemon. It has like actual murder and stuff. Lots of dead people.
Shut up there! Lots of dead people.
Well, it's just like that's implying that that's what I'm all about. I mean, if you like that Grand Theft Auto, clearly you're way into the murder. And
well, I mean, I think people just know that you're into porn and murder.
Yeah, and some of the stuff I've said this episode too doesn't dissuade that. It's like I like that Hotline Miami; it's real good. But then, yeah, I don't know.
I love to kill people in this game.
Yeah,
I like to,
really. That's my issue with Wolf Among Us. Like, I'm not doing the murdering.
I'm not doing enough murder. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I don't want to solve no murders. I want to get murdering. What's this game all about? It's weird. I'm a wolf, but I can't eat people. What? Anyway,
what?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Phoenix Wright. I've been generally interested in that series. Like, I've played a couple entries, but they're very similar in a way. Like, I mean, it's different mysteries every time, obviously, but the gameplay is very interactive adventure novel thing. You're basically just reading a story and kind of clicking through a story. So I haven't been that keen on doing something like that in a little bit. And honestly, like, I'm kind of intrigued by 999 on that front more so right now. Have you heard about, those? The
999? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just, I've heard interesting things about that for a while, so if I'm going to kind of delve into one of those again, it might be that. But, like, in general, and I could eventually end up playing a Phoenix Wright game, I just haven't done that.
Sure.
And yeah, I haven't still gone down the Pokemon path, because I've heard, like, Sean spent 100 hours playing Gold. Like, is that kind of bare minimum, or is he crazy? Like,
bare minimum? No, bare minimum's maybe like, I don't know, 8?
8 hours? Really?
Something small. It's not long to beat a Pokemon game. The long part is going around, catching everything, and leveling everything up and all that. To actually just play through it, it doesn't take long at all.
Okay. Well, if that's, I might jump into some Heart Gold at some point then, but like, same with XY. Like, have you finished one of those, or
what's that?
Like the new ones, XY? Did you finish one?
No, I stopped playing because other games came out, and Pokemon is the game I play when there's not other stuff out. So
it's kind of just the default. You go back to that.
Yeah, Pokemon is not a game that I will sit down and play for hours. It's not that at all for me.
So yeah, I guess, sorry to report, I have not played any Pokemon or the new Phoenix Wright yet. I have a bunch of old Phoenix Wright games sitting around that I haven't. Like, I mean, I almost finished Miles Edgeworth. I have Trials and Tribulations. Like, there's Phoenix Wright to be had around here. I just haven't polished those off. So
yeah.
Same with Layton. I kind of like went through a bit of a tear on some Layton stuff and one of the Phoenix Wrights a while ago, but I just didn't. Then I was like, all right, that itch has been scratched. I'm good for a while. So
itchy.
Well, yeah, it was pretty itchy for a while, but now I'm good. So yeah. Next question.
Last question for Paul and Nathan. If you were in a horror movie and you had the choice between escaping the untimely death that you'll get from a scary monster or psychopathic killer or something, would you either save the people you came with on that trip to wherever you went to that's scary, or would you just up and leave them all? I would just leave them all because I want to survive, and there's enough people in the world to not really care about who dies and who doesn't die. But that's just my opinion if I were ever in a horror movie. You're all screwed.
There's enough people.
Okay, so the way I heard the question, and I know this is wrong, is that if you knew you were going to survive anyways, would you still just like run away or save people?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. If I was going to survive anyways, I would save people. Because why not?
Right.
It's not my decision who lives or dies, because there's no such thing as a god, less likely me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Like, you're not in charge of, like, fates on any grand way.
Sure.
But, yeah, it's more like, would you be a dick in this situation or not?
If
that's the scenario, but
if it's like you have to save people, but you're dying,
yeah,
fuck that. You're all on your own. You knew what we were getting into.
Yeah, we went to this cabin, so you know.
We went to the cabin in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
So you're fucked.
Or we went to this. Like, I mean, the more weird the place, the more danger you're accepting. It's like, well, we should have realized this when we went to the abandoned amusement park. So, yeah, you're on.
We should have realized this when we went to the Axe Factory. That's right beside the mental the mental hospital.
Yeah, the down Axe Factory rooms, or like the creepy doll place, like whatever. Yeah, there's all sorts of. I don't know if there's any actual like local freaky places. I mean, for a while there was an abandoned hospital, right? But then it was destroyed. So
in Edmonton?
No, like the general.
Oh yeah, there's one in Edmonton though.
Oh really? Yeah,
an old psych hospital, mental hospital.
That's so good. What a great local thing to have.
It is a great local thing, but they had to actually hire like a security guard to walk around and stuff because kids were breaking in.
Yeah, of course they would.
But if you're a security guard, I am not being positioned with overnight shifts at the fucking abandoned hospital. I don't care if I just have to walk around and check the fence. There is creepy shit in an abandoned hospital.
Yeah. Oh, that man has an amazing job. What a cool guy.
Oh, anyway, man, I bet he goes home every night and just like fucks the shit out of his pillow.
Whereas I thought he would just be like, oh no, you get pretty numb to it after week 2, and then it's just like the most boring job in the world for him. But
no.
I just get to listen to, podcasts. It's cool.
He comes home and he has one of those anime pillows.
Yeah.
And he just fucking goes to town. Just
every night.
Sort of thing. Because that's the only thing that makes him feel alive anymore.
All right. I don't see the like one leads to the other like connection there that clearly, but fair enough, I guess.
Next question.
Man, all right. I was gonna say we
have
have abandoned coal towns and stuff like south of here, but nothing local stands out as like a spooky place. Oh, would I run away or whatever? I guess yeah. It's kind of dependent on do you know if you're in danger or not. Like if I am. I don't know. I guess I might, in some situations, run away if it's like dire enough and it's clear I'm in trouble. But I guess it's also who I traveled with. Like, there's a bunch of factors. So, yeah. Generally speaking, though, if it's, I'd probably go back because I'd feel bad. That like, can you live with yourself thing. Plus, okay, let's just cast a little shade darker. Like, let's just go a little darker into Nathan's psyche here for a second.
Sure.
Has part of you ever kind of hoped something weird goes on so you can just defend the shit out of yourself?
Oh, no, dude, you don't even have to finish that thought. I was just like, I feel it's weird to say out loud.
Yeah.
there's been a lot of times I've kind of wished just something catastrophic in my world would happen.
Yeah. So that you're allowed to respond in kind.
Yeah.
You kind of can't. Yeah. Like, okay, I don't know what it was. I think it's just being raised on like weird religious paranoia. But there was like stories we would be told in like chapel about a church in like Africa or something, which got stormed by militants or something. You know, it's like, oh man, they were like, you know, trashing missions and stuff like this, like these terrorists or whatever. I'm just like, man, all right. So let's say that happens here. So the terrorists come in the back door, right? So then I hit the floor and I grab a thing. Like, it was just like I had this like weird little like Hotline Miami style scenario of like how I would take down all these terrorists.
Okay.
That broke our church if it ever happened.
Have you
like,
ever
hymnal and then I'm gonna throw it and then I'm gonna slide, like just dumb retarded stuff. But it was just like, if it goes off, I want to, you know, get my, you know, defensive murder on.
And okay, I'll give you another scenario here.
Do that, but if it ever happened, I'm ready in my brain.
Let me give you another scenario here.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought that like you wish something bad would happen so that you could sacrifice yourself to save someone else? Because I totally have had that. It's like some weird like heroic like fantasy or something, like a power fantasy where it's just like I'm gonna jump, like I'm gonna jump in front of something and just like save this person, and I'm gonna get fucked. I'm
like
so
just
fucking
jump in
dead.
front and catch the bullet, but you're the greatest hero. Like I don't. Again,
No,
I don't know
not even a bullet. Just like there's like a puppy crossing the street or whatever. There's like a puppy running away from this little girl or something, and like this bus is coming or a train or something, and I just like jump in, grab the puppy, throw it back to the little girl, and just fucking splatter everywhere. Like, is that a weird fantasy?
That's a like really self-destructive in a way, but the kind of like assassination scenario I've definitely thought about with like the jump in front.
Like, yeah, see, that one's easy because it's like, yeah, and then with my dying breath, I could say something so like profound
or like ridiculous. Yeah, just like, don't waste this, and then die, and then that
that's
guy
so creepy. Don't waste it. No, wait.
That's
don't
like
waste
some
this.
Ryan shit. That's what he does.
Don't waste this is like your go-to for profound.
That's the easy one. That's the Saving Private Ryan thing, where like, you know, old man Ryan is just like, oh no, Tom Hanks, I'm so sad. Did I lead a good life? You know,
Nathan,
the corny part of that movie. What?
I would take a bullet for you.
Really?
No homo.
Thanks. I don't want to get shot ever, but okay. I guess actually I've thought about the scenario. It's like at some point you have to question, why is anyone shooting at us? And that just kind of makes it all fall apart. Because like if someone's shooting at you, why are they doing that?
No. See, you and I are hanging out because we just had a long podcast.
Yeah.
And then we go down to the 7-Eleven, and there's a robbery happening. And you just want to get out, so you start running towards the door, and then they pull the gun on you. I'm in front of that fucking bullet for you.
Aw.
I'm stepping in the way, and I'm gonna have the last sip of Slurpee I will ever have. But it will be the best sip.
Like you just stand in front and then go for your Slurpee?
No, not even. I still have the Slurpee in my hand, and like... I don't heroically...
Like the Godfather, like you're just getting riddled with bullets, but you're still trying to get to the straw.
No, like I'm sucking on the Slurpee already, and I don't even heroically jump in front of the bullet. I just step to the side while I'm still sucking my Slurpee, give a deadpan look at the guy, and then just like shake my head, and then that's when the bullet hits me.
Like this weird casual heroism. It's like, oh, whatever. I'll shuffle over it. Do your worst or something. That's just alright.
Casual heroism?
Well, I mean, as we described with your like immortal thing post smoking and drugs or like drugs. Drinking.
Just like drugs. Jesus, drugs.
The darkest, yeah. After you kick the heroin habit, like you become immortal, and then you could take all the bullets, right?
Yeah.
It's like Highlander or something. So
Casual hero thing is now the name of this episode.
Casual. Yeah, no, I like the image in the mind of just like kind of just half step to the left and then take a drink. Like it's just, I don't know. It's
I can't stop laughing about it.
Like it can't be described as badass. It's just kind of, I don't know.
But at the same time, it kind of is, because it's just like, I don't even care.
Like, yeah. I don't know.
Saving a life is just what I do.
Like Dirty Harry eating his sandwich while he walks out to stop a robbery, like that kind of thing, but even less effort. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's literally just stepping over to the left, like shuffling.
And then I look really weird in this scenario. Just this panicky wuss. Just like, whoa! And then run out of the store.
You look even worse by proxy.
Yeah. Like, that's like totally the Travis Bickle type thing with the robbery going on.
Have you ever thought that if one of us dies, this podcast dies with it? With us?
Not.
It's kind of weird, right?
I mean, with like post Ryan Davis musings about podcasting, like maybe a little bit of that kind of what would happen with this podcast if like, yeah. Because
you thought about that at all?
Would the archive stay up or just go away once the?
Oh no, they would definitely stay up, and then when like the payment came around and nobody made it, it would all come crashing down.
Exactly, like that's kind of sad part.
Mario 64 Mario has our whole collection.
Okay.
He's the one that gave me a whole bunch of old episodes.
Okay. That's good to hear, I guess, that there's at least like spread amongst the community. Maybe there's a way these can like, I mean, for a long time, I was like worried the hotspot stuff would just evaporate. Like GameSpot would just be like, yeah, stop doing that. And then they just not keep all those old episodes. So like I think a bunch of them are on my old 120 gig iPod. Like it's just like, I don't want to lose these, man. Cause you know, they probably don't matter to somebody, but they matter to me. They matter to me. Let's GameSpot. I like those too. Anyway, yeah. Weird, like just weird stuff that you get attached to that. Yeah. Once the internet built, like, man, I guess just, you know, briefly elaborating, like Ryan Davis had a bunch of like joke web domains that he owned.
They're all gone.
And, yeah. The day I realized those weren't up anymore, it was like extra, like just returned. Like,
well, it was like the day he died.
They were still up for a while.
No, but like that is the day he died, is when like even the little stupid things like that were gone.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh no, now it's like extra real. Like it's just, yeah, kind of messed up. So,
Also, there's a little bit of talk in the chat. If Nathan or I died, this podcast is over. There is no replacing. Fuck you all. You can't replace Nathan. It's my buddy.
Aren't they saying that?
We have a rapport together.
This would continue. What are they? What's the what?
No, they're just saying
recast him.
Huh?
Just recast him.
Recast him.
Oh, we got an open call for Nathan on the Pix response. Lines over there. There's one guy. I don't know. I was like, in my mind, it's like there's a line, and it's like, no, there's not. That's narcissistic. There's no way. But yeah.
I'm getting a little depressed thinking about it. Just because, like, this is like the routine now, right? This is a weekly thing where it's like I get to talk to my friend for a couple hours every week and just joke and feel better. And now he's gone. That's the worst. Oh, man. Like,
to do that.
I'm feeling so bad for Jeff right now. With Ryan dying and, like, the drive in every day.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, they did have, like, a 4-man show, so they can keep rolling.
Sure, but I mean with the drive-in specifically.
The community, yeah, for sure. Like that just would have changed it.
The day after, like the first day that you do that alone, man, that's gotta hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you for your call.
Yeah, this
next caller.
Has been crazy. Anyway, okay.
Next caller.
Hey, Paul, JonTron made new episodes. Have you seen them, and what is your opinion on them compared to the old ones? Goodbye.
I love JonTron. I'm glad he's getting away from video games and he's reviewing Goosebumps now. Because, everybody on the fucking internet reviews video games. It's enough. There we go. That's what I think. Nathan?
Did you see R.L. Stein's AMA?
I did.
Yeah, just goosebumps. Like, apparently matters to a lot of people. So, yep.
Viewer beware. You're in for a scare. Goosebumps TV show.
Mm-hmm.
Do. Anyways, next voicemail.
Quit playing games with my head. I'm a sport, but I'm not a toy. Let's not analyze what I said. I don't want to be a complex boy. I can tell it you're serious when you are so delirious. Are you just playing me, baby? Is that a yes, no, or maybe? Yeah. Playing games with my head. I'm a sport, but I'm not a toy. Let's not analyze what I say. I don't want to be a complex boy.
What was that? What's going on? Oh, are you looking it up or what?
No, I am sitting here just
flummoxed. You know what that reminded me of?
What's that? Racism?
No, John Leguizamo's The Pest.
Oh, yeah.
Like the opening credits.
What?
I don't know.
Stinky Winky, ah, ha, ha. Dude!
Yeah.
Like, fuck off, John Leguizamo.
We watched that movie a while ago.
That movie's so bad.
I didn't know it was like Most Dangerous Game in any way. That was really weird.
It's really funny, yeah.
Yeah, and also Jeffrey Jones was in it. Like, there was just like surprises to be found in that movie, and the opening credits sequence is kind of amazing, but also the worst. That's what that reminded me of. This song we just heard. I imagine it's from the same era. I don't know. Like, it's like the late 90s. Everything was weird.
Pretty much.
Yeah. There's like 4 legs in the tub at some point. It doesn't make any sense. The Pest.
Anyways, thank you, caller.
Yep.
Next voicemail we have from across the pond from Germany. We have a voicemail from Albus09. Let's see what he had to say.
Hey Nathan, hey Paul. Just a quick question because I'm tired and I probably sound like bullshit tonight.
Yeah, you do.
What's your opinion on pen and paper RPGs? I never thought much of them, but then I listened to a stream where they played one. It actually sounded like fun. Well, have a good one with that.
Pen and paper pachees?
Pen and paper RPGs.
RPGs. Yes.
Yeah.
I have been wanting to find a dungeon master, dragon master, whatever you want to call them, a DM for a long time to do tabletop and pen and paper RPG type stuff. And I would love to stream it. However, I need more than one other person to be interested, and I don't know who that would be. But there are gamers here in the city, so open casting call maybe.
Mm-hmm. I know there's like weekly game meetups at some places, but
but those are terrible people, because every time I go to like the store or whatever they're meeting up in, they just look at you. They're like outsider.
Yeah, you're kind of supposed to meet your posse there. Seems to be kind of the thing. So,
exactly.
Unless there's others there. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it specifically in relation to this store we're probably both talking about. Yeah, they're kind of weird at being welcoming there.
Okay, which store are we talking about?
I'm talking about Sentry Box.
I am not talking about Sentry Box, but I'm sure it's the same people. So
maybe. I don't know.
I'm talking about a place called Revolution on 14th. So if you're ever in Calgary, that's Northmount Drive and 14th Street in Northwest, Revolution.
Okay.
Now sponsored by
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've kind of I dabbled for a bit with a friend of mine, and like, we were playing this Star Wars game.
Wait, are you a dungeon master and you never told me? Because that would be so.
No, I'm not a dungeon master. Sorry. But I guess, yeah, it was just like a couple of the friends involved were way too intense about it.
Sure.
Like, it was just like, oh, I don't care at all enough to, like, I don't know. Like, it was just like too demanding. It was like every week show up here, like, you know, you'd kind of ask a question and then it'd be like kind of scoffed at in a kind of patronizing way. Like, I just got irritated by it pretty quickly. And then, like, at some point pretty quickly, then you're like, well, why am I volunteering to spend hours of my day every week with these people when I'd rather not? So, like, I just kind of quit. Sure. And we started changing games. Like, at some point we were playing some action movie based one. I don't remember what it was called, but it was kind of like machismo 80s action movie motif or whatever. So yeah, that was the last time I actually played. There's a friend of mine who has a regular D&D meetup, but
why is this friend not also my friend?
I don't know. Like, he's the guy that recommended Haxon and all this. So, witches, strange movies. Yeah. Again, just got to bring up Haxon 3 weeks in a row, and then something happens. I don't know. Witches appear.
How would you feel about? I know you have done tabletop down perspective.
Yeah.
How would you feel about like maybe monthly or something, like meeting where a bunch of us play some Dungeons and Dragons or something, and then we could like record it and just set one out every couple of days or something?
I guess as long as everyone involved is pretty, like, their primary interest is having fun, then that would be fine.
What if my primary interest is bitches?
Good luck. I don't know. It's a weird avenue, but all those hot D&D bitches.
All the hot D&D bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of D&D bitches,
you thought Gygax was doing it for the what?
You thought what?
Little did we know, he knew nerd culture was going to be cool way ahead of. Like,
who did you say though? I didn't catch that.
Gary Gygax, the guy.
Oh, Gygax.
D&D. He's just pimping.
You think he did it for fun? He did it for the puss.
Sure, of course. Why does anyone do anything?
I don't know.
Yep. I don't know.
Why does anyone do anything?
Oh, the implication was for genitalia of some kind. That was kind of the.
So the hokey pokey is what it's all about.
What it's all about, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to, like, in some ways it's like the final frontier of like nerd culture for me. Like, it's like, this is where it started, man. People meeting up and playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like,
I thought you were talking about like I already watch movies, I play video games, I like Star Trek, so as soon as I jump into like the D&D, I am pretty much just like that guy.
Yeah, like that is the final thing. Like that is the last pillar. Like at that point I become a Christian nerd. Like I guess I might need to be better at math, but I don't know. Like I own a 20-sider, so I think I'm good. Like I think that gets me in or something. I'm not sure.
I don't think you need to be good at math because most of the quote-unquote nerds I've seen, or like self-proclaimed nerds, are fucking morons. So
okay.
They don't even know how to use
like. I'm as a nerd though. Can I be a geek?
No.
Bad too.
You are Krasnor G.
Okay.
It's like the god of geeks. You are Krasnor Geek.
It's like Zardoz kind of. Yeah.
Everybody should be tweeting Nathan right now some Murphy hype.
What, to try to get me to play Pokemon? Or?
That's right. That's the final frontier for you right now.
Is Pokemon? But that seems more
mainstream,
like accepted and tabletop stuff.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I mean, that's getting bigger and bigger all the time too. But full blown D&D stuff. But yeah. Like I almost want to be a total like extra. I don't know why, but I'd want to play maybe first edition just to know what like our nerd forefathers were doing in the 70s.
Sure.
You know,
we can do that as long as we can find somebody that can actually like run a game.
Yeah.
Why not?
So, okay, this could happen, but I don't know. Again, then it's also like a thing of like merging social circles, and like I get weirdly anxious about that.
I do too.
Like, what if my friends think like my friend is cooler than me, and then I won't
really?
be in the circle anymore?
I gotta say, I'm oddly touched that that's your problem.
Yeah, it's just like why do we have Nathan here? Let's just cut out the middleman, and then it's like, oh no,
oh come on.
I wanted to play D&D with you guys. And it's like, nah, there's no meetup tonight. But I saw the case of Mountain Dew. I saw it.
I seen that case of Mountain Dew.
With my own eyes. Why are there 4 cars in your driveway?
Why were there 4 cars in Nathan's driveway? If you have an answer, we'll tell you how to get it to us right about now.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
She's right, you know. That's how you get a hold of us.
Yep. There it is.
We've been having war in the chat room. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a gang of bots. These bots were looking for no good. These are not the droids we were looking for. They've been coming into our chat room by the dozens and then just sitting there and doing absolutely nothing, and we weren't going to take it anymore, so we handled it.
Oh, okay. PR bot?
Nope. There was a whole bunch of them, and we had to murder them, basically. There was Rhino Chunks, Grimy Kisser, Burger Lips, Pickle Fanny, Buttercup Butt. I'm not even making this up. That's what these were. For a full comprehensive list, go fuck yourself. Anyways, so I don't know why, but like, have you noticed that ever since Twitch has been updating stuff, like bots are just the biggest problem ever now?
No, I haven't been spending too much time on Twitch. So
okay.
I guess Twitch is bigger than ever, though, so that makes sense in a way. The same way Twitter is full of just fake people. But
yeah.
Yep. Oh, we're starting again.
Just like us.
The episode.
Oh no. We're stuck in a time lapse. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.